Altered Carbon with Joel and Jeremy. My name's Joel.
I'm Jeremy. We are brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can check out all of our social media sites at thishishowtowatchtv.com. Also, email us at thishishowtowatchtv@gmail.com.
Correct. Or just hit us up on any of the social media things, like you mentioned, etc. Yeah, so we're here to talk about Altered Carbon, a Netflix show, which I was a little hesitant to do a Netflix show. I mean, not a Netflix show in general, but one that I didn't really know anything about. Before I even watched an episode, you're like, hey, you want to do a podcast about it? I'm pretty sure you hadn't even watched it yet either.
I hadn't watched an episode yet. No,
So
I like the trailers.
Tell me what made you so confident in it that you wanted to do it before even seeing an episode.
What do you mean confident in it?
Well, you were like, let's podcast this show. It usually takes
Well,
something.
okay, listen, for one, it was a Netflix series.
Okay.
We did a little bit of Sense8, but it wasn't a organized, I don't know.
Well, we didn't finish it.
We didn't finish it.
I never finished it. I never went back to Sense8.
I'm saying like...
Still bent about that getting canceled and them switching things. And you can sit anywhere. That's the beauty of the wireless
No, that's
setup.
fine. Yeah, but I don't want to look like I'm like...
Just
but
laying
anyway,
down. Yeah, by the end, you're just...
Right. I'm slouching so hard.
Okay,
anyway.
yeah, just like there's a mic here. That looks like I'm... Never mind. Carry on.
Anyway, I don't know. The trailers look cool. Looks like something I would get into. A little bit of
You
Blade
just wanted
Runner.
to make the logo, didn't you?
Bit of...
Jeremy
no,
makes
that's not
signs,
true.
and look how cool the sign turned out.
It is
This
pretty
is
cool.
only for if you're listening on iTunes, you can watch this on YouTube as well. Oh, if you're watching this or listening to this on the Jay and Jack Network, feel free to check out all their stuff, jayandjack.com/Amazon/iTunes/Patreon.
Very good.
And,
Thank you, Jay and Jack.
Yes, support their stuff as well. It's really good. I was on one of the Patreon shows or a patron show where if you subscribe more than $5 a month, or $5 a month or more, you get a certain audio, specific. You know what I mean? Like there are perks at different levels. Like I need to figure that shit out for like Lost to Time and stuff like that, where we'll go and do an episode at a place you want for a certain amount.
Right.
Or something like that. I don't know. I'm not trying to monetize it ridiculously like that. And like everybody will still get all the same content for free. And I'm pretty sure that's the way theirs works too. They eventually give it to everybody.
Right. And eventually
You just get priority on it and stuff like that. So anyway.
No, yeah, I made the sign. 9milebranding.com if you want to check out my new business. But that's just beside the point. We're here to talk about Altered Carbon.
Okay, well, then let me open up my thing because I'm terrible at remembering stuff. The theme song and the title sequence, not the song itself, although a little bit, it reminded me of Westworld, the whole thing. The whole way it was done, like it felt like in the exact same vein as Westworld, whether it's the
So
visuals
we can assume
were the
that if you're
same.
watching this podcast that you've watched the show and you kind of get the gist of what's going on. We don't need to give it a synopsis of what's happening, right? Like of what this world
Like,
is about.
what is this show about?
Yeah.
I mean, that might be a reasonable thing to start with. Do we have that? Do we have that synopsis anywhere, or do I have
don't
to
think I
quickly
have it.
fill
I don't
while
have
I'm
it.
getting us to Altered Carbon on Netflix? Because I'm trying to do that right now, and we'll see how that works.
I don't have it,
Okay, so Altered Carbon. Let's see some info here. Damn it. Overview. It's not...
It's like getting an overview per episode.
Yeah, that's super
Anyway,
lame.
it seems to be couple thousand years in the future, not,
That I have no idea on.
I don't think they gave
mentioned
you
that,
a year, but it seems like if you're just trying to guess like how fast technology moves, with our world, for them to be to where they're at in their world would be, I would think, several thousand years. It seems like they've talked about mastering planetary travel, so that's
Okay.
way off.
But is it necessarily? I mean, I'm not trying to be even argumentative at this point. Just
About space travel? I don't think it's that far off.
I mean,
no,
going to
but
other
I'm talking
planets
about
and stuff.
mastery and colonizing and all that shit. So far along as they are, yeah, that's several thousand years from now. Don't you think?
But well, not necessarily. Would you have thought when the Wright brothers did a plane that then only about 100 years later would you'd be in space doing all kinds of crazy shit. I mean, like,
that's
think
true.
of how exponentially quick technology is
It
growing
does
nowadays.
And
So it could
exponentially,
be.
it does grow exponentially, right?
Now, I will absolutely give you that there's no way they started in like 2020 with Kovac when he got frozen
even
or
at
whatever.
that point,
It had to be 100 or 2 years, 100 or 200 years at least.
it's got to
beyond
be
now.
like 25 something at least.
think so?
25, 26 something. I mean,
I wonder if we'll ever get that.
I think you will eventually.
Yeah, you think we'll
but-
find that out?
Right. So anyway, you can download your consciousness into what they call a stack.
Okay.
And
And
You
you,
can
and the bodies
theoretically-
are sleeves.
bodies
if
are
I remember.
sleeves. Like they're not even, they're like disposable. Like, you know, like when you come out of prison, or if like your kid was killed in an accident, like you are entitled to a new sleeve, but it doesn't have to be what was it like at
Right.
the beginning. Like the old lady comes out and she's like, "Mommy," and she looks at this like young woman, you know, who's sitting there, and a young man, like a young couple they're like, "Our daughter was 7 years old." And they're like, "Well, you get what the state provides,
Yeah, it's
if not
kinda
pay
fucked
for an
up.
upgrade." Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. So now they got this old woman with the soul or whatever per se of
Well, the stack.
the stack of a
essentially,
7-year-old.
Which, yeah, I mean, what's the terminology in this show? What have they been calling it?
Stacks,
Like,
they call them stacks. Yeah.
and you're just re-sleeved or whatever.
Right. Now there is an element of religion to it.
Okay.
They've talked about how there's a sect of people who don't believe that this is okay. Like, and they seem to be wearing crosses and
Okay.
be religious. They don't think it's okay to be brought back from the dead.
So they
like
just
if you
wanna-
die, you die. Your
okay.
body should die. You should die. That's it. That should be it. You
Right.
should go to heaven or whatever
Can you
they
imagine
believe.
whoever made the technology to where you could come back to where you could continue re-sleeving? I mean, all that shit.
Now, see, but the thing about that is like you can't just do that. Like you have to be like you have to be like rich and powerful to just continue to do that.
Well, to continue to, yes, but to once or twice.
I can't
maybe?
remember what episode it was. It might have been in episode 2 where they talked about re-sleeving several times into different sleeves can make you go nuts.
Right.
But if you re-sleeve into your own clone, you can do it as many times as you want.
Right, no problem.
With no
but
problem.
You just have to be
so
rich.
you have to be super rich to have your own clones made, and you know have the backup stacks. Like they back up your stack. What was it, every 48 hours or something?
Right, to space.
Right.
You know, so that he just. Oh, so that's what was going on. So that's why he said, I don't remember that at all. It's like I'm watching somebody else. I don't mean to
Yeah.
be jumping way ahead here.
No, he was
but-
murdered, and then he like
So he
right
lost-
before his backup happened.
Yeah, so
he lost the 2 days.
He lost the full 2 days where he
Right.
had brokered a deal and all that shit. So who knows
Right.
what happened? Somebody figured that out and did that on purpose. It's still recording onto the phone. It's just not.
Well, I think
showing
they
up on
showed
the
you
thing.
who
Carry on. They can still hear me.
they
I
showed
can
you who
walk
did it
anywhere I
at
want.
the end of the second episode, right?
They
Or
showed you what?
seemingly who committed the murder.
Go on.
Murder. At the end of the second episode, didn't they, like, spoiler alert, didn't they show it was the lieutenant, the feisty little,
Ortega?
yes, the feisty little lieutenant,
That killed whom?
Bancroft.
She killed
I think so. I think that's what it
Oh.
unless I'm misremembering something, it looked like she was the one who had done it.
Okay.
So
yeah,
they
I
gave
didn't-
you the answer to the crime
didn't-
right away. Now he's got to come around to finding out that it was her.
I didn't. I don't have
Maybe
that.
I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure
Let's
that's
not
what
say that on our podcast.
I'm pretty sure
No,
that's
he's
what I
definitely not
thought.
wrong.
I'm pretty sure that's what I thought I saw.
I mean, I don't know. I just made random notes as I was going along.
Okay.
It started with the guy floating in the water, and then there was a bloody shower fuck scene. I mean, what the fuck?
Were they
It
fucking
was
in
like
the
something
shower?
on a blade. Yeah, I mean, just everybody was all over each other, and then it turned into a sex scene, and then, yeah, it was like, what?
Well, that's our Asian lead character.
Oh, right.
Takashi Kovacs. Or Kovacs.
See, I didn't catch his first
Kovacs.
name at all.
Takashi
Takashi.
Right.
Okay. Kovac is all I kept.
Kovac. Takashi Kovac. Right.
Yeah.
Takashi Kovac.
Yeah, so you shed your body in this reality. We discussed that already. They try to wake up a former Asian guy, but he's still alive, so to speak.
Former Asian guy.
Well, I mean,
Who are you talking about? The main character?
Kovac. Yeah, I'm just saying what I had written down at that point. I didn't know
Okay.
his name yet.
So you're just taking notes as you're watching
As
for
I'm
the first
watching
time.
for the first
Okay.
time. I like to just react to it, and it makes me then remember, oh, I was
Okay.
thinking that. Oh, this
I
other
understand,
thing.
yeah.
Bunch of bullshit.
Well, it's kind of different because we're watching something that we know nothing about. We've been so deep into the ones that we love for so long.
That we know, as much
Right.
as you can know without sounding like you're insane. I mean, we
already
know.
sound like
I
we're
know we
insane,
just toned it back
right.
a little bit, so we didn't realize.
So we're just doing it. I don't know. I thought this would be interesting to try out.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether to watch the whole thing and then react to it in one podcast. I think like that could go long. So I figured we would do 2 episodes at a time and go through the 10 episodes. So we'll do 5 podcasts about this. It doesn't seem like that much of a time commitment, I mean,
I don't know if maybe 5 episodes, maybe just 2 podcasts would have been reasonable as well. Who knows? I guess we'll find out as we go along.
I'm excited to move on to the 3rd episode. Like
Yeah.
we haven't done that yet.
Right.
Like neither one of us have. So I've been waiting. Like the first thing I'm doing when I leave here is going back and starting
you're
the 3rd
watching
episode.
that one?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to come back and do that if you want to. But anyway, so moving on. Like
Well,
what?
no. He's been down 250 years.
Right.
When they wake him up, he's demanding a mirror,
Which-
and he still
which-
sees Asian guy, then slips into.
Which even this world. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine.
Even in this world, the 250 years seems like a long time to these people. Like the people who are opening up, like this is their everyday job.
Yeah.
Like they were like 250 years. Like who is this guy? Like
Right.
their reaction to the 250 years means that like, that's not something that happens very often.
Okay. Yeah,
You
no,
know?
I'll buy that. Yeah, so he looks at himself, and then he still sees Asian Kovac, and then becomes white
He
guy
screams,
Kovac.
ah, and then becomes the white savior.
Yeah. So he's in Alcatraz. That was
How
kind
did
of
they
cool.
manage to do this?
What?
I'm not trying to get racial or anything on you, but like every movie or TV show has the white savior, the white hero.
Right.
How did they manage to make our
He's
lead
Asian.
Asian?
He's white and Asian. He's Asian.
Put him in the body of a white hero. Come on, like
Well,
just let him be an Asian guy. I'm okay with that.
is it possible he was somebody else pre-Asian guy?
Well, I mean, I think what we're seeing, there's another flashback. I mean, we're jumping all over the place here.
It's fine.
But there's
If you've seen the first 2 episodes, you know the stuff we're talking
There's
about.
another flashback that I think is his original self. It's when he's standing in like the burning forest with the ashes falling down.
Well, yeah, that's
and he's standing with
obviously
him.
the
So I think
original
that's
him.
the original him. So
Well, no, but what I'm saying is maybe it's not original him. Maybe that's what they want us to think.
maybe that's another sleeve.
Maybe that's his second sleeve.
Okay, so
and he was somebody
So
prior
then, how
to that.
so how many white dudes do you know named Takashi Kovac? And Kovac doesn't even sound like an Asian last name. Doesn't that sound like Russian or something? I'm not trying to sound ignorant, so let's not even go there.
He
but
could have taken the name when he. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there as a twist, a
how
potential
fucking
twist.
hard would it be to identify anyone?
Impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah, except by their
And
stack.
you can needle cast.
Needle cast.
You didn't hear them talking about that? That means they can that's what he did when he was.
When he put the thing on his head, and went into.
No, that was VR.
Oh, okay.
He spun up the dead daughter or her
When you say
stack in
spun
VR.
up-
They use see. I'm
I
trying
know
to
it's
use.
a term they use, but
that
what
means
does that
like bring
mean?
them back.
Oh, just bring them back,
Right.
not like anything special.
Nobody
about it.
wants to be spun up, but that's just the term they use for that. Is what I gather so far from watching it. I
Yeah.
did watch it several times because I didn't, I watched it right away when it came out. It was a week ago already. Tomorrow, it came out on Friday or something
Right.
last week. No, today's Wednesday. Whatever.
So they call
So,
that the cortical stack, the thing. Isn't that what we were talking about?
Sticks in the back.
It made me think of, they say it's an implant they get when they're 1 year old, digital human freight. And so it's sort of like Attack on Titan, and you need to protect the nape.
It's exactly what I thought of when
Yeah.
when she said so.
And then the
Avoid
Asian
damage
g-
to the
then-
nape of the neck, like
And then the guy
chicken.
who caught the Kovac was named Jaeger. I'm
He
like, oh,
was.
shut up.
See, so like,
That was a nice little
they're
Attack on
seeing,
Titan nod.
it had to be. Like, they don't get, like, the nape of the neck thing. Like, that's... Now,
Not that
here's a
that's
question I have that I
unheard
hope we'll
of,
get an
but-
answer to. Is, at the 1-year-old thing, is this a choice? Do people that are religious get to choose whether or not
Whether they get the
have their
stack?
kids with the stack put in? Or is it just a thing that happens at 1 year old's law
Well,
must happen?
I don't know. Wouldn't they just not use the option to not have it, but to not see them again? Like, wouldn't that be the way they'd get around that? They'd just not.
Think about the whole temptation of that. You would drive yourself insane trying to stick to your religious belief.
No, I
Say
think
you lost
they
your
get
wife,
it. I think they get
and you
it, but
have the
don't use
stack.
it.
You have the stack.
Yeah, that's
And
faith, though.
But see, yes, but how hard of a test would that be for people?
That's
to
that-
not
that's
go
their
back and
fucking
talk to that
jam,
person,
man.
or not bring them back. Just not bring them back at all. You know?
Suffering is their jam. It's like the Jedis. Like, they're just super lame.
Never met a more anti-Jedi guy.
I mean, I've never
Hashtag
seen them
anti-Jedi
do
guy.
anything cool.
Shut your mouth.
I've never seen them do anything cool. Everything they do is
Let's
like...
not turn this into a Star
it's-
Wars
no,
podcast.
let's not.
That got a little testy there, didn't it?
Okay, so one of the first founding myths,
Now, see, I haven't gotten a full... That's got to be short for something. I
Right.
haven't gotten a full term.
but one of the first
I feel like I could
founding
just turn and
myths
talk to you
is
now. I got
Lawrence
this lapel mic.
Lawrence Bancroft. Lawrence, plural Lauren Bancroft. I mean, what the fuck? Anyway,
Come on, man. It's no different than
I
the
get
stupid
it.
names
It's-
in Edard.
I mean,
Come
yeah,
on.
just slight tweaks of the name. What?
Edad. Joffrey.
Lawrence. So yeah, let's see. I don't know. Bancroft is over 360 years old, so
Right.
that's interesting. That puts him in Kovach's time.
It does. And it puts him, I think these...
Oh, you know he's going to have something to do with getting Kovach put on ice to begin with.
Or it's going to have something to do with the war that they talked about. Because he
Okay.
said, I fought a war to prevent people like you from happening.
The empaths, right? Isn't that what he is? Kovach, isn't he an empath?
So maybe that's what meth...
Oh, envoy. Sorry, he's an envoy.
No.
Somebody else was an
Kovach
empath.
is an envoy.
Right,
I
that's
believe.
what I was talking
He's the
about.
last envoy
That
from
we
what can
know
tell.
of.
So I think that's a term for like the freedom fighters or whatever they were trying to fight against.
Well, no, but they were
we haven't
saying
learned
like
a lot
he had,
about that.
They said something like he had precognitive abilities, like he'd see stuff
Well,
before it happened,
that was
or see how
explains
it played out.
the
The thing that played out with the black dude, where you saw what happened before it happened. He saw him break free before he broke free.
that. But
That's
he
part
also
of his
saw,
ability.
as the Chinese dude, he also saw the guys through the wall.
Exactly.
The weird, like, yeah, okay, so they do have like precognition or whatever.
Yeah,
like
so
a
that's
little-
why they would want to be. That would explain the
But so they were
the
wiped
initiative
out.
to wipe them
apparently.
out. Yeah, except for him. So he's going to bring them back. You know what I mean?
It's interesting to see where it goes. I think we're really early in it,
Right.
with just being the first 2 episodes. Episode 3, man, should break some shit open, don't you think?
Hopefully, I mean, because
I did want to talk about the technology some, but go ahead, say what you were going to say. I keep
I
interrupting
don't
you.
remember. It's gone already.
Wow.
It's gone already.
I love it when that happens.
So the driver takes him to some city above the clouds, and that's where he meets Bancroft.
The driver is Ortega, right?
The driver is Ortega.
Right. Bless you. I mean, like, you like holding your brain in?
Yeah. It's just keeping it from going everywhere. I was trying to block it from the mic is the most important thing. I do
You
not
don't.
sneeze
You gotta have
right
a
into the
cough
mic.
button.
Yeah, well, I need to have a button.
Where's your fucking?
What do you mean? It's in the. We're mic'd up this way this time.
You don't have a mic?
There's no
button?
mute
All
button
right,
on
let's
it
get
now.
on with this podcast.
Anyway. So the wife acts like she's into him. So she collects antiques from old civilizations and has the only Songspire tree on Earth.
Right.
I'm telling you that Songspire shit is going to bring back a stack.
Or is what the stacks are made out of.
It's going to like be the thing that repairs his ex's stack or his girlfriend's stack or whoever she was to him. What was her name?
Kilcrest Falconer or Kilgrest
Yeah,
Falconer?
something like that.
Yeah, I think is the black chick that we see in his.
But he was like
flashbacks.
looking over their ruined stacks in that museum.
And they're like dark. They
Yeah.
have no light in the middle of them.
And that's the color. He was dangling it over the case, and it was just like, oh, that's going to be a thing.
Yeah. So, and I liked his reaction to that. I've seen them.
What, the
When
trees?
she said that, she's like, some of them were blah 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 blah. And she like tried to give him like a fact, and he's like, yeah, I know, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And then it flashed back to him looking at a giant one.
Yeah, when he said there
Yeah.
were thousands of feet in the air. And,
Right.
Like, what the fuck are those things? I want to know what those are. That's the
See?
kind of shit that's instantly like Lost or Game of Thrones, where there's like a thing that you need to know
I
a piece
got
of
it.
information.
Like I love it. Like see now that's the kind of thing. Now even just talking about it more is making me more interested.
But they're not going to give us that right away. That's
hope
going to be
not.
one of those long-term things.
Let it go.
We probably won't find that
And
out
if
for a
that's the
couple
case,
seasons.
then it is good.
Right. But I'd
If
like to
that's-
know
And if that's happening, then the show was good.
if they're sprinkling
We're taking
in
a
little
chance
bits.
here a little bit on what this is, right?
I mean,
A
we
little
can
bit.
stop anytime.
Nobody gives a fuck about that, right? But
Whatever
look,
we
we're-
want.
okay, we're not taking any chances. There's nothing at risk here.
Yeah, there's no risk.
Let's be realistic.
There's no risk. There's nothing at
so
risk.
we're just talking about it.
Yeah, just discussing TV. Or is it TV?
It's Netflix.
It's Netflix. Let's see. So immersion and total absorb of everything around you is what he was defining an envoy as.
Like just total perception of everything.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, this is a heightened
Well,
perception.
the
heightened-
absorbing thing is they said if he immersion and total absorb of everything around you. So if he walks onto a planet, he instantly knows how to act in their culture and how to speak their language.
Oh.
Total immersion and total absorption of everything around you.
Instantly.
Instantly. He's just, boom, he's there.
So that's why he can just totally wake up 250 years
And be
later and
fine.
completely fucking adapt to it. I mean, it took him a minute. He got all fucking stoned and
Well,
was
to be fair, he
mumbling
was
around the
high.
streets. But
Yeah.
yeah. But she put the ad blocker on the back of his head and killed all the...
Yeah, I didn't catch
The
that
ads.
at all, that's what was happening there. I thought she was just like antidoting some of the drugs he was
She
on or
said
something.
it.
Yeah, I
Ad
know.
blocker.
Fair enough.
I'm interested to see wherever the combat skins go to, or combat sleeves. I want to see what that. There was like some monsters, some crazy looking shit going on with that.
Okay.
And the little ad he watched. I'm curious to see if that goes anywhere, or if that was just something we're going to see and not see again.
Well, that's probably
Come
going to
on.
be for war stuff. You know, we'll see.
So
war
you're
at
fucking
some
like,
point.
you're a nerd dude, like you were born a nerd dude, but then all of a sudden you just got this crazy fucking combat sleeve you can load your fucking stack into and just fucking go
and with
crazy.
your stack, your stack can be loaded. Is that accurate?
You needle cast into it.
Wait, what's needle cast?
You can cast out of your thing to a different stack. She says at the beginning, you can cast it anywhere in the world in minutes.
No, I'm not talking about jumping there. I'm talking about the abilities. Like, can you add them into a stack? Because they
you mean
said
like the cognitive abilities? You
'Cause
mean
they
like
told
the envoy
him-
abilities?
maybe not that, but Kovac says he can't be bought, and Bancroft offers him a full pardon, a bank account, and 50 million UN credits. But he also said something about and the ability to do this or that. It was like and combat training and something like that.
No, that's
We threw that in for free, or he said that somewhere
yeah.
along the line.
This sleeve was upgraded with combat. That was when he was talking to the warden.
Okay.
You have the sleeve. It was upgraded with combat reactive abilities or whatever
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, that was the sleeve,
So they
not
can-
the stack.
Oh, right.
So the
right.
combat sleeves
But
are the
that's
combat
perfect,
sleeves.
though. So
you
it's-
can load in, you
Right.
can needle cast into a combat sleeve and have a fucking all-out brawl, be killing each other to the fucking
And then go
max.
back
Yeah.
into another sleeve.
I'm curious to see where all the dynamics
I'm making
of
it
this
sound real flippant.
bodies not
This-
being important thing.
Yeah, but if your thing gets blown up, you get hit at the nape of the neck.
If your stack gets blown up
If you get hit at the nape of the neck, you do not regenerate.
like a Titan.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Unless your stack is backed up somewhere.
Right, and then it's only whenever it was backed up.
Or twin, what did he, oh, there's another thing. What do you call it when they killed the guys in the...
Oh, twin stacking or something
Twin-
like that. It was dual stacking or something
The
like that.
pardon is real death. Or not the pardon, the
punishment.
the punishment is real death.
Yeah,
For doing that,
For-
twin stacking or whatever
yeah.
it was called.
for cloning yourself, basically.
Right.
Now, That's not the same as what
No,
Bancroft's
he's
doing?
using another sleeve. His real stack is somewhere else.
Oh,
with his
right.
real
He's
sleeve.
just making sleeves that are
Right.
him.
So could you
genetically.
possibly just exist as a computer? Like as in like cast out to different sleeves. If you had the thing, you could just have your main stack just existing as a computer. I wonder, like, see, there's all kind of different cool shit we could talk about when it comes to that. Like, could you just exist as a stack in an armored fucking capsule buried in the ground and fucking clone yourself or clone
And then
fucking
just
stacks
send
and
yourself
just
out?
needle cast out to different
I don't
stacks?
know. I'm not sure how all that
I
works.
suppose you would have to, like, that's an interesting question. That's a cool little tangent there. I wonder if that would be something that'd be possible.
I hope the show lives up to the questions that that we're coming up with, like in that regard. I want to.
I hope they don't make it lame. I
Right.
think it's building up a nice little thing. I don't think they gave us a whole bunch.
What do you think about like the hotel shit?
Now, see, I was just thinking about that. That's my favorite character.
Yeah.
Poe was my favorite.
Okay.
He was the guy who like when we met him, I was like, okay, I like this guy. I hope he's a main character on the show, which it seems like there's going to be, because there was that whole little in the internet meeting that they had with the other
Right.
the AI management union.
Yeah, the management union. Okay. I didn't
So their
get the
AI is
significance
like-
of that though.
Like he said they're hardwired to want guests. Like a angry ex-girlfriend, like a clingy ex-girlfriend. Like if you stay there, it's like sleeping with the stalker.
Right.
It's like you're perpetuating something you shouldn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
So that's why people stopped
that's
going
why people
there?
stopped going to those. So they're all empty. But he goes into the Raven.
How are they still there for 50 years with no guests? He said 5 decades without a guest.
Well, because it's maintained by an AI. There's no.
But electricity and I mean, I guess everything
See, I
would be
wonder,
off.
like, I don't know where they get the funds from or whatever, but it seems like they have a little thing going on. That reminded me a lot of a series called American Gods. I don't know if you ever watched that one, but it was
did
pretty
not.
good. The
I
little
watched the
meeting
first
of
episode, I think.
the little meeting of the AIs in some virtual
yeah.
place. Like,
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of cool on its own there.
So I'm interested to see. I see there's another little side story I think they're giving us the beginnings of.
Right,
See, I think there's all kinds of shit here in this show, and if they pull it off right,
right.
it
I
should
mean, hopefully
be,
they have a
yeah,
5-season plan.
right.
you know?
I can't say that I'm fully like, wow, but I'm ready to go watch this third episode and
Yeah.
see where this shit goes.
So
Third
the
and fourth
guy got
episode.
he got the same tattoo. I'm assuming he had that tattoo before, and he just keeps getting it in each.
Didn't they show
well,
it
it
on the
is-
back of his neck?
This
On
is
the-
his second sleeve. I'm saying that because I think that's what they're expecting us to believe. So with it being his second sleeve, I think he's just getting the same tattoo that he already had.
Just to remind himself of
who
something.
he is.
Right.
You know, maybe. I don't know.
Right. Well, even the dude, even the dude in
It was
the,
called double sleeving. That
double
was the other
sleeving.
thing. I wrote
How
it
did we
down.
not
I
fucking
wrote
figure
it
that?
down,
Dual.
yeah.
We went every other thing but double. But anyway, the original dude, or the original guy, the guy in the hotel room with the chick at the beginning, he's looking out the window, and she says something about, "What are you, just an asshole?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Every sleeve, every time."
Yeah.
So we're definitely supposed to assume that he's been through a few sleeves at that point.
Kovac?
Yeah.
Kovac?
Yes, he said that. Every sleeve, every time.
But we last saw him get killed as Asian Kovac.
250 years ago.
And then he woke up, and they said if you die a violent death, you wake up hard.
Right.
So like he woke up hard, and they literally preceded that scene with his death as Asian Kovac. Kovac, sorry.
Right. But it was
So-
there was a different Asian dude in the other flashback. Where he's standing in the elevator and the ashes are falling down on him. And he
There's a
flashes
different
back to like
guy?
a forest. It's a different Asian
I
dude
thought that
standing
was
with
a
a gun.
kid the first in the forest.
You may have saw a kid in there, but there's a guy standing there with a gun.
Okay.
An Asian dude standing there with a machine gun. It looks
Different
like.
guy?
It's a different Asian dude than the one that gets killed in the hotel room.
Okay, so then presumably, here's what I'm going with. He went through a few different sleeves. They were always Asian because he was in Asia.
He was in
Or whatever. Sorry, yeah,
or on
whatever.
a planet that was predominantly.
Yeah. That's my guess
Right.
then. So that's why the tattoo thing is of relevance. He keeps getting the same tattoo. Just a guess.
To remind himself of who he is.
Yeah.
And this is his first white.
Right.
This is his first white
Well,
sleeve.
he transferred into a guy I used to fall asleep to all the time. I forgot who this guy, what show this guy was in. He was in The Killing. I used to fall asleep to every episode of that show.
Was it something that you should just
It was
watch on
the
repeat?
Worst.
Why did you watch it over and over
Because
again?
I decided I was finishing the first season at least.
So then how long did it take you to finish it?
Oh
That
my
you falling
God,
asleep to
forever.
it forever.
I fell asleep pretty much every time. Like it took 3 viewings to get through one episode.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's like Jenna. That's how Jenna watches TV.
It's brutal. I need to like wake up in the morning and watch TV. That's the only way it really works for me where I'm like fully focused on it.
right.
I mean, sort of in the evening, but like anytime after now, I could be passing out in a second. And, let's see. Any other stuff? He agrees to take the case, obviously. Now, his ex told him to move on, that 250 years is long enough. But he just woke up, presumably not having dreamt the whole time. So he was just out and then he was awake, right?
Yeah, see, I would imagine that it feels pretty instant. That like when he woke up on that table and the dude's yanking that thing out of his mouth, it feels like he just fucking got shot to death.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I
why
imagine
if
how
you
that
die
goes.
violently, you wake
You
up.
wake up.
So it should just be like the next second. But I guess the punishment then being not that you sat there for so long in a purgatory, so to speak. It's that you missed out on those years, and
your loved ones
everybody
are
you know is
potentially-
gone.
Potentially,
Yeah.
but they could have potentially lived on in stacks as well. Different sleeves.
God, but the population problem, right?
I think that's part of the interplanetary travel thing.
Okay.
Like, I'm hoping that the writers for the show are smart enough or whatever to address these questions that we're talking about, little stupid details like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like, is
they
that a
better
population
matter.
problem? It absolutely matters.
Yeah.
And that's why we love shows like The Walking Dead and Game of
Yeah.
Thrones and shit like that, because of details. This shit looks like it had a lot of money poured into it.
Right.
It really does. Hopefully they did it right and it's not just going to turn into an action movie.
Right. No, well,
Which-
the blonde chick fell from the sky at the beginning of the second episode.
Yeah.
Which, what?
Sky Castle.
Oh, right.
She was all
Gotcha.
dressed just like the lady, the mom.
Okay.
She had that flowing, like, one piece kind of with nothing under it
okay.
dress on. So she came
Gotcha.
from up top.
Okay.
She's got something to do with the murder. Bancroft's murder,
Right.
everything.
Okay. What do you think is the deal with the ashes? Because it happens to him again in bed this time.
It's a flashback of some sort.
Yeah, but like, so what?
I think
Somebody
it's the
ruining his
battle of
life,
the-
killing, or
it
the
looks
war?
like the Battle of Stronghold, which is that they've talked about being like the last battle of
I
the
feel like
envoys.
you're talking about Game of Thrones now.
I feel like they're throwing that stuff in there on purpose.
Okay, Battle of Stronghold.
The Battle
go.
of Stronghold was like the last battle of the envoys where they were wiped out. He goes to that museum and looks around.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And all that in all those pictures, there's ashes falling like that.
Okay.
So I think that's that. I think that's the Battle
Gotcha.
of Stronghold. Yeah.
Girl cop gets caught with the tracker with her partner Ortega.
Right.
Let's see. We talked about
He
the fact
pretends
that
not to see it.
right. We talked about the fact that Bancroft can live forever by transferring into a clone sleeve, as they're only fragmenting side effects by multiple sleeves, multiple different sleeves.
That he
Yeah.
said, yeah. So that's the only problem. If you have your own clone and can afford that, you're good.
Could Ortega be more into the into Kovac?
I mean,
It's
yeah,
painful.
Right.
She's like so into him.
right,
I mean, like it feels like he's a terrorist. Remember?
Right.
Did you forget that part already?
Stockholm's kicking in pretty quick
Right.
there, huh?
Yeah. So you were talking about the robot hotel thing, the Poe going and talking in the alternate dimension,
Right.
and he was trying to convince the ones playing cards were trying to convince him to serve up humans rather than serve them.
Right.
But
So there
serve
was
them
an
up to whom?
He was using. That guy talked about using the sound effects that the actual humans make and playing them back to the other humans, and making money from it, basically.
You mean that what they say, like
there's sex sounds.
Oh.
He was talking about having a sex palace or something like that. That was his business. And I use the playbacks of the actual humans and I sell them back to the other humans, serving up humans. You know,
Oh,
so that's
gotcha.
just a lighthearted part of it, though. Like, I
Right.
bet that goes farther.
Right.
You know, to where these guys, this hotel management union, AI management union, is planning something.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully that's something that doesn't pan out for a couple seasons. You know, where we see it
Right.
like that's the big bad. You know, in the next season.
Right. Ortega shows up late and they tell her she's got to go tell the mom of the girl who fell from the sky that they'll basically never find her body.
Right. But they have it.
But they have it somewhere.
So it's weird what's going on.
I don't quite understand the whole body thing because it was like she found it way too easily. You know,
Ortega?
later on. Ortega found
I think
it.
she already knew where it was.
But then why wouldn't she just say that? I don't know. There was something
They're
weird going
keeping
on
it
there.
related to, it's related to a case or something that they can't talk about or something like
Okay.
that. They can't tell them on.
It's probably because it has something to do with Bancroft. Kovac has this badass
He's the
personal
only
viewer.
one we've met now that lives in a sky castle.
Right. Kovac has this badass personal viewer thing where he can like sort through video clips and things like that. Imagine if I could just edit like that. That'd be so great.
He just lay on a couch
He's
backwards.
just laying back and he's like, okay, now get rid of any that don't have blue, purple, and green in them. Okay, whoop, delete. And what?
It was cool. See, I think the technology part of it is cool because he just like inserted something in his eye, and that's like your computer. Like you have that
Right.
built in.
So then he zooms in on the serial number of a gun flashed in one of the clips and tracks the guy down. And he goes into like the Matrix or something, the virtual reality, like you were saying.
He
and-
goes in where he's got. What's the guy's name? Lizzie is her name, and her dad's name is something else.
Oh, I didn't
forget,
catch
but
the dad's name. I didn't think
he
it was
has her
irrelevant.
stack in a virtual reality set because he apparently can't afford a new sleeve for her or whatever.
Okay, but so did he break her stack? Did he do something to it?
I don't know, but he said she's caught in a trauma loop or something like
Right.
that. So I wonder if that has something to do with how she died. She died violently. He said she was beaten to
Jesus,
death.
dude, that scream stuck with me.
It was,
It was horrifying.
yeah.
Like legitimate, like she's like, fucking help me. This
Like,
is the worst.
Like
Like,
you just like it makes
Yeah.
your heart jump a little bit. That scream, yeah.
I just got the chills thinking about
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, so this is where he saw him break free before he did. So we're getting a glimpse of his envoy characteristics. He watched his ex killing people in the battle to eliminate the envoys, and he's messing with the Songspire near the stack on the display. And he's got
little girl walks over.
quite a way with kids.
Yeah, no shit.
Ortega's dad was killed, and they couldn't ask how he died.
Because he
Religion?
had religious beliefs not to be spun back up. You saw how her mother was.
Right.
Right. She didn't believe in that stuff.
Interesting. You'd think everybody would be wanting to do it because
Yeah, but there's certain people who believe that hard
Yeah.
in religion would or are told to believe a certain way.
So Kovac goes and gets a hooker and asks about Lizzie Elliott. Oh, that took me forever to put those two dots
Elliott.
together. So that was her. That was Lizzie from that video or from that virtual reality thing.
Right.
And she agreed. He says that he's her mom.
In a different stack. See
Yeah.
how you could lie about that
Yeah.
kind of shit? You see how easily that played out?
Yeah, that was kind of cool. She agrees to ask around, and he tells her she's better than to be choked to death by Bancroft.
There's another example of your envoy
What?
intuition.
What's that?
That he was able to just adapt and play that trick on her so easily.
Yeah.
You know?
So, I mean, he knew, maybe he was picking that up from her about the mom.
Right.
The information.
Picking it up like that she
Yeah.
would be sympathetic
Like,
to
oh,
this
if it was the mom.
anemone.
Anemone? What
What
is
was the
that?
stripper's name?
Oh, is that what it was?
I'm anemone. How gross was she?
I vaguely, I don't even remember.
With the
what she
stupid
looked
wig
like.
and the
Yeah.
makeup, she was terrible.
Black guy shows up, but some monster guy tosses him away and starts fighting Kovac. Like with a spine thing.
Yeah, I think that was like a combat sleeve.
Oh. Ortega's chatting with Kovac until they release him. And the falling girl's body is in the morgue, and Ortega tells her mom tells her that her mom wants to talk to her.
Right.
So she's going to work that out, even though she's not supposed... Like, presumably they did that for a reason, where they didn't let her be spun back up.
She had this, I don't know. It's all a mystery, though,
Right.
which is cool. I like it.
Yeah. The hotel's trying to be Kovacs' assistant, and it lets Bancroft's wife into his room, and they end up fucking. And she makes him feel what she's feeling. So does that
She
mean...
explains all that, yeah.
Does that mean that when he was fucking her, he was fucking himself?
And then add the envoy intuition into all that, the envoy thing, the whole enhanced perception of everything.
Enhanced perception, and she can make him feel what she's feeling. He's definitely double fucking himself.
Brings new meaning to the term, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
He did twice.
All right.
And then Ortega took the stack from the fallen chick.
Okay.
So, like we said, she's going to spin her back up. And then I just have random angry Asian guy watching at the end. I didn't know what was going on there. That was what I thought. That's what I caught at the end of it. Just random angry Asian guy.
Why? I don't know why I'm blanking on the very end of the episode, like the last few seconds of it. I'll have to go back and watch it again.
It was just a guy like
Because I
sitting
could
there
have swore
singing, and
when
it
I
pulls
saw
back
when
and
I
then
saw
boom.
the end of the episode, it was something to do with Ortega. It was like standing, like, I don't know. I'll have to go watch it again. To where I thought the thought that went through my head was, oh, she did it. She committed the murder.
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe that chick saw her and she threw her over the fucking.
I don't think that
edge.
I don't think that jives necessarily. I don't
We'll see
know. I
what
don't
happens,
remember
yeah.
seeing Ortega being involved at all.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's where we're leaving off for now. We're going to watch more episodes. If you're enjoying this, I mean, leave a comment. If you have questions or answers to shit we've thrown out there, please feel
Feedback
free
or yeah, please.
to interact. That's what we're looking for
Yeah.
with this, is to have some sort of interaction. So, or make
If you
a
like the
community
show,
for the
if you
show.
think, if you hate it, I mean, let us know. I mean, like
Yeah, tell us what you hate about it. We'll discuss
I'm
it.
curious to know. Like,
And
I
see
don't
why
need
it
to be
doesn't make
told. I
us
don't need to
stop.
be told by other people like when I can like something or not. But like,
No, but I'd be interested to try
I
to
do.
go,
I would
well,
like to know.
let's see that point of view. Why do they not like this part of it? Oh
Right.
yeah, okay, I could see that. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Kind
it'd
of
be
thing.
nice. Yeah, it'd be
I'm
good.
open to suggestion on topics like that. So anyway, we'll be back with more soon-ish, because we're
Right.
just going to watch 2 more episodes, and then as soon as we can, podcast again.
Right.
These will probably come out once a week, and look for them on the Jay and Jack Network or on Comeuppance Network YouTube.
And 9milebranding.com. Check it out if you want to order any cool signs.
Yeah, this sign is not just like a cool sign. It's like 3D and shit. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, we can do all
It's
kinds
like
of cool
printed and... I mean, this. I'm not trying to make this a commercial or
stuff. No,
anything,
right.
but
Yeah, see, I'm not trying to make it that either. But if you want to check it out, go to 9milebranding.com. Check it out. There's some samples there and stuff, and our contact info is there. If you
hold on,
want
Jeremy.
any more
We're
questions.
in Altered Carbon now. You see how blue it is?
Blue
Hold on.
light.
Stay right there.
You can turn off all the other lights and make it look really blue. This is only stuff you're going to get with How to Watch TV.
We're in Altered Carbon.
This is how to watch TV.
See you later.
But yeah.
All these memories in my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker, drinker.